Stealing my moves before we even go live. One of the guys. You know what I mean? You feel me?
Wait, where's my beverage?
Looking on, girl.
I just need some water. I'm not, you know what?
Look, we're not reverting, okay? Focus.
All this guys, I've parched this.
Yep. Grab a little bit of the Sprite right there. Something. I don't know. Get a cup. Say we live. No, the hell you not. Get a cup.
I'm the stepchild and I get treated as such all the time.
No, you are the wild child and you get treated like anything right now.
That's what. We're turning up.
You're dragging it.
Oh wow.
Hello, and welcome to the Necessary Unnecessary Podcast. I'm your host, Nip Swag. This is your host,
Frisco.
and we have a very necessary guest in the building today. Miss Sierra, Boss Barbie, in this thing. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's your girl Sierra Lucian, aka Boss Barbie 1. Make sure you guys check me out. Tune into the shop because we're going live.
Just like we are right now. If you're tuning in, this is episode 76.
Woo.
And we talking about judging books by their cover.
Judging them.
Don't do it.
Judging books by their cover.
My life.
And I mean, it's something that we as human beings do as nature. We categorize. We walk down the street. Oh, you're Chinese. You're African. You're this. You're that. You know, we compartmentalize in an effort to take the world in little by little. You know, oh, you go over here, you go over there, you go over here, and you already, make snap judgments based on people's appearance.
Yeah.
You know? If you see an old white lady, you're going to say, hey, she's a Karen. She might be the nicest old white lady, pie baking lady, raised 3 back babies and
I don't know about the bacon part.
man, baking apple pies, white only pies, but she might have raised 3 black babies. You don't even know, cuz. She got all black children. But I'm just saying, though, how do you feel about being judged by?
Well, being the author of Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover, I would have to actually say that, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. And a lot of people look at me and they see the blue hair, but when I open my mouth, they're like, whoa, she's educated. So I would definitely be a big person to say don't judge a book by its cover. Just don't.
For sure. So I read a little bit and I saw a little bit and I glanced a little bit and I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Because we're a lot in the same field. Like right now, I have foster children. Mm-hmm. I've been in human services for 20 plus years, but I've also been in media and entertainment for 20 plus years. You know what I mean? So my first topic was like, how do we merge the difference between human services and entertainment? And because I'm trying to collide those.
Yeah, you should. You should, because there's a big market for that. And what I teach my kids is that it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you're doing. What matters is who you are as a person. There's a lot of different demographic that our children don't tap into because, like you said, they're judging a book by its cover. Instead of saying, you know what, this person can go over here and do media. This person can do sound. This person can be the person behind the camera. They're not looking at the bigger picture because they're judging the book by its cover. They're looking on the outside and say, okay, I'm watching this show, but wait a minute, who's filming the show? I can do that. Or who's making the show? Who's writing the show? The kids don't think about that. Not just kids, but people as a whole. They don't think about the bigger picture. And that's what I'm teaching our kids nowadays, to look at the bigger picture. One of my children, he actually draws amazing. I mean, you give this kid anything to draw, he's going to draw it. But he never thought about being an artist. He never thought about that. But he's also thought about being in IT. And like I told him, wait a minute, you can be in IT, but you can be the person that's actually drawing for IT because they need that. A graphic designer. Yeah. So now he's thinking bigger. So my goal as not just a foster parent, but as a youth advocate for foster children is to open up that dynamic, open up that book and that channel to say, hey, look at the bigger picture. Don't judge the book by its cover. Be able to look outside the box. Because right now, like you said, what is that word?
Compartmentalizing.
Whatever that word is, you're doing it. And what we don't do often is tell our children that, look, think outside of that box. There's bigger things than what you just see from the naked eye.
Kids, you miss a lot of opportunities telling yourself no first.
Right.
Never tell yourself no. Go.
I cannot. So for people who don't know, because we didn't even let you introduce yourself properly, what do you do exactly for those who don't know? I know you've done a lot. You wrote books. You're a foster parent. You do human services.
Yeah. So I came from the Rolling 60s. If you guys ever heard about Nipsey Hussle, that's my hood. That's one of my childhood best friends. I'm married to one of the ones that Nipsey Hussle rap about, which is Gil Bone off the Level 4. And I'm very proud of those moments because where we come from, people don't make it out. And we're like some of the first to buy homes and move out of state and things like that. And I'm proud of that. But most importantly, I'm really proud of the fact that I am a licensed foster home. I went all the way up and got my license to be regional center. I am now a foster care advocate, so I travel all over the world speaking about being in foster care. So when I was younger, I was around 12, my brother died. His heart stopped and stopped breathing. And instead of the system helping us, they took us from my mom, and that dynamic changed my life. And so with that being said, the same system that was, harming me or hurt me, I gave back to it because I was actually placed in a home where she was too old to be my mom, so I called her Grammy. And Grammy taught me how to love myself. And in turn, that is the reason why I do what I do. And I named one of I not named the book, but I actually said, you know what, the reason why I wrote this children's book is because of Grammy. So what it does is it teaches our kids how to latch on to people that love you and that can help you along the way. So make sure you guys tune into that. Make sure you guys go get my book, Sierra's Brave Adventures. It's for children. It teaches them how to live and being in foster care.
I'm gonna see if she got that in the trunk.
So, not in this car, in the other car.
Right now, literally, I just have 4 foster children. I'm down to 2 now, and I just started it's been crazy, but
it is
you know
crazy.
what I mean?
No,
especially in Atlanta.
No, I didn't know that he's down to 2.
Yeah. They come in and out. I just had a 15-year-old, and he just literally had a firearm, and he just went to jail the other day. And I didn't even know he had a firearm. Literally, he was running through the yards.
He said they taught you better than that.
No, they literally, I didn't know what was going on. My neighbors was calling me from the HOA, like the Maryland down the street where we live. You know what I mean? So,
allegedly.
No, this is allegedly. This is allegedly. But literally, I didn't even know I was in the house, but I thank God that I was able to act as fast as I did because he could have harmed another child, right. Another child that's in my care, or just me in general. Me just not acting as fast as I did, but just walking outside and seeing 7 cars of police, and I'm like, what's going on? And they bringing him from the back. Thank God that we do live in the area that we live in, because man, where we came from, that would have been a dead black man. Just them coming, I
do a little thing called the contraband check.
Sweet.
Oh,
you got teenagers? You got teenagers?
You have to check their bags?
Oh. Well, no, they don't come with bags.
The mattress, it's a shakedown. We place it up in there.
Every day you
nobody get hurt. Now about, every periodically surprise. It's a raid. Hey, what you got in that
thing? Not a raid, goddamn.
What you search history on this tablet? We go
I
you know what I mean?
I understand that.
Do you have little kids?
I have a 6-year-old, 2 12-year-olds, and a 17-year-old.
Oh, so who's left?
The 6-year-old and the 17-year-old.
Oh, so have you got 6-year-old still? Okay.
We didn't come on the necessary.
That's unnecessary, but apparently it's necessary.
No, it is, because someone will look at you and not even know that you're a foster parent. They
that's great. That's great.
And he's been doing it for a long time.
Me too. I've been doing it for over 20 years. My biological son is 21 years old, and I started before he was even really walking for real. But what people don't understand is sometimes it takes for the people that you're going to look at and judge. We the ones that got the big heart.
Exactly.
Because the ones that you don't look at and judge, they don't even want you in their house, nowhere near it. Please, they're calling 911 as soon as you get near it.
Exactly.
So I was working in a facility, like a treatment facility. Mm-hmm. It was like 100 kids. They was the terriblest kids you ever would meet. But they fooled with me heavy, though. You know what I mean? And one of them was like, man, Mr. Marquise, but you should be a foster parent for real. You know what I mean? I didn't even pay no attention to it at the time. But then I got so high up because I was a campus supervisor. So I'm not even really working with the kids. And every unit I go on, they be, Mr. Marquise. I'm like, I ain't even got time to stop and talk to y'all, but they fooled me because I would stop and listen, even though I ain't had time to. Okay, what you need? What you need? What you need? Right. What you need? What you need? I'll be back. But every unit I went on, it'd be like that, and I'm like, I done got so far away, so I'm just filling out paperwork. So I'm like, I got tired of running people company. Like, let me go on and
start my own,
invest and try to derail some of these kids so they don't be bouncing around, end up in weird foster homes, or if I can stop that for a couple of kids, that's more impact than I'll make
Absolutely.
getting juices for this kid and that kid, and you know what I mean, when I can.
And that's how it starts, you know, just for a child to be able to look at you and see something that you don't even see yet in yourself, and then for you to act on that and say, you know what, maybe I can help. You know, that's where the love is, because I literally have 3 adopted boys, and what I say, these kids love on me when I don't even love on myself. You know, I could be down, they gonna lift me up. You know, they gonna keep me looking young because I'm constantly cleaning. But what I can say, those children love you unconditional. And the more you put into them, the more they put into the universe. And I think that alone is about this industry. You know, that's what this is about. That's what I do. That's what makes me happy, you know, to know that I'm putting something back into the universe that I necessarily didn't get, but I'm putting it back into the universe and it's paying it forward.
Mine kind of drive me crazy. But they crack me up.
They
too.
keep you young.
They crack
They
me
keep you
up.
young.
So,
They
shout out
keep
to
you-
Care Ministries. If you're watching, you know, Care Ministries.
Keep you on your P's and Q's.
CAYR, come as you are. Because we'll take you however you is. We're
Right.
going to give you a shot. You're supposed to leave better than you came, but Care Ministries.
Yeah.
What's the name of your organization?
It's called Lucian Foster Facility Home. But my regional center is called Greater Opportunity. And we have our 501c3, which I'm really, really happy about. That took a lot to get. It's not easy. But right now we're looking for funding. We want to buy a building because we want to take it corporate and take it global. You know, my main goal is for this to last after I'm dead and gone.
So I have the confession to make. Because
Unnecessary, unnecessary.
Where my alcohol?
Get my cup.
Let me get my cup.
I judged the book by its cover.
Mm.
Because I seen your blue hair
Uh-oh.
and I just thought you was a sexy blue rapper. I thought you was gonna be and get a can down feed and
I ain't gonna say I thought she was a rapper. I said, what the fuck does she do?
Listen,
I
I
thought
get
you
that
was a
all
rapper.
the time.
But I read, so
Right.
fortunately, but I will confess that I'm like, oh, what's she rapping about? And I just knew it was money.
Listen, and I'm rapping about money because guess what? It doesn't matter what color your hair is. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. What matters is that when you walk in that room and you open your mouth, you know you deserve to be there.
For sure. I'll tell you this, like, you could even ask, like, if you hear me on the phone with, like, defects and all them and all that stuff, and I
They
have
don't
to
know
break
you
it down
are.
to
They
them,
don't know what
Right.
you
Nah,
look
they
like.
know what I am, but when I get to talking though,
They don't know.
they do know. But
Yeah.
they know I know what I'm talking about. though,
Right,
for
absolutely,
Sure. You
the
know
fact.
what I mean? Like, I don't play with you people. I don't care who you is. I also get the big wigs on the phone. I ain't, you know, I've been in some rooms. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
What we on? You know, I
Right.
had to tell a few of them, who you think you're talking to?
Right.
What are you talking about?
And then
all
to
that
have
tribal
to advocate for
like
the
those
kids,
people that you feel
that's the hardest thing. Because now, like,
yeah, the schools. the
when I
lawyers,
say
the
I just had a child that he got kicked out for a 10-day suspension. He had a 504 plan. They didn't exercise that 504 plan. They moved to suspension. When I say that it was 14 people on that line, social workers, POs, everything, nobody fought for him.
Not be doing that.
Nobody fought for
Yeah.
him. I was the only person to advocate to get this child back in school. That didn't last long, but it was the fact that, you know, it kind of just like, it had me bewildered because I was like, all these people on here, and majority of them are for him, but none of them are speaking. And literally 2 of the social workers said, I don't have nothing to say. And it just was like, what?
I've been there and done that.
I don't know anything about
Do it
this
make
life,
you
so I
wish
just take it
sometimes that you
all
could just take it back to Crenshaw and Slauson and
I
just walk
do,
up in there
like,
and just
what's
slap
up?
everybody in the room like,
Yes, like, why you take this job for
stop
real?
playing
You don't
so
want to do
much,
this.
You know, because sometimes English just doesn't clarify
It don't.
the veracity of how I feel about what your dumb ass just said.
Yes.
And you need to be slapped in your mouth.
For real, because it's like you took the job and you would think
Human
that
services, ladies and
you would
gentlemen.
think that he
Human
loves,
services.
Uh-huh.
Your finest right here.
you would think that they love
No,
what
they
they
play
do,
too
but
much.
they
Yeah,
don't.
They play too
They
much.
don't.
They play too much.
They don't.
I don't know anything about it.
I know.
And they play
But
with
it's
you
okay.
with the funds, the finances, all that. They will put a child in your home, say, ain't nothing wrong with that child. Next thing you know, you done had to tow your house up, burn it down. You halfway out the door, halfway in. Like,
Oh, hell
what?
no. See, I could.
I be telling you stories.
Listen. No, I know.
It be
I still
up
like
around that
female
time.
baby.
You know,
If you
it was
don't,
up
you
today.
gotta advocate
You'll
for the
never know.
child, but you gotta advocate advocate for yourself too, because they will literally place a child in your home knowing that the rate is supposed to be something higher, lower, whatever. The child may have a behavior aid, and they still know that they're gonna give you the bare minimum, knowing they wrong. You find out months later that you done did a resuscitation of the income that you done been given, and now they gotta go back and back pay you when they already know from the gate.
Stuff too.
Music.
We need to collaborate.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like for real. You know what I mean?
Get involved with, I coach for sports, athletic, youth athletics, things like that.
Okay.
But I ain't been in no podcasts.
I mean, you hear now. He's a silent guest.
Uh-oh, the unnecessary necessary. Bring it out.
You feel me? But we all from California. Like, we got similar stories in San Francisco. Like, I had to shake and bake and move about that thing. You know what I mean? And get somewhere where I could make some progress, because in San Francisco it was like, I wasn't doing nothing, getting in trouble.
It's depressing.
Like, for real. Like, so I'm like, crash out. Like, and I had just enough sense to be like, you know what? I ain't got nothing to prove.
That shit designed like that.
Yeah, to crash out.
It's designed for that. So when you make it out, you like set a different alternative. You know what I'm saying?
I was smart enough to say, even if I win, I was gonna lose. Because I knew, I said, for real, cut it out, guys. But even if I win, I'm gonna lose. So, hey guys.
Leaving Cali was a win and a loss.
Yeah.
Because I had to leave all my family back
it's
home.
a gift and a curse. It comes with it, though. As you progress,
it was a blessing to be able to move my family across the state.
Georgia.
You know what I mean? Into Georgia, where
stuff out here.
Yeah, exactly. If we was in California, we wouldn't be doing any of this for whatever reason.
Well, I can't say that I wouldn't be doing it, because
I tried to.
I just knew I was gonna be big. Period. I was a big shot back home, still picking it up. But what I will say is that God has His way of doing things.
Absolutely.
I literally bought my home out here as a vacation home, and I had the facility in California. And when it came time for expansion, I kind of played with it. God was giving me everything, and I was like, I don't want to go, because my dad was still alive at the time, and I'm a daddy's girl. And literally, like, it took for my dad to pass away for me to say, look at God and say, you know what, God, I prayed for it, I asked for it. I actually have the house. It's like, what am I doing? I put my condo on the market, it sold in a week. And that's when I knew, like, okay, it's time to go. So I took my vacation home and turned it to my primary home. It was one of the best things I could do, because literally where we come from, the kids couldn't go outside and play. They couldn't go outside in the front yard and play without it being bullets. Literally somebody died in the front yard on the L block. And, shout out back home, though. I love it to death, but it's like a love, like a love-hate, because you love it, but then you hate the fact that, your kids can't go outside. You can't wear blue, you can't wear green, you can't wear orange, you can't wear purple. All those are different hoods, versus where we at now and we get to live. And our kids are outside playing and they riding bikes and they ain't worried about somebody coming, where you from? You know what I mean? It's not that. And I praise God for that, because I prayed for it. And I would say, for all our viewers that's listening, if you have something that you do and it's weighing on your heart, I would encourage you to live up to that. Move on, move up, do it. Don't tap dance with it. Do it all the way, because it's somebody somewhere that's going to get you connected in certain circles that you might necessarily overlook if you was back home. And moving here, it was one of the best things I ever did. Shout out to my manager, Ruben. Literally, he worked from quality control. He helped get Slicky out of her deal. I got 2 publicists. When I came to Atlanta, my whole career just catapulted. Not just personally with my educational background or my career, but when it comes to like my personal things that I wanted to be on the big team. I wanted the podcast. I wanted to be interviewed. And now those things are happening because I was able to step out on that faith. So I encourage you guys that are listening, don't be afraid to step out on the faith.
You got to.
You got to.
You got to. It's necessary.
It's necessary.
You feel me? So tell us your most necessary Nipsey moment.
Oh, man.
You want to answer this too?
You want me to answer?
Listen.
I just can't have
Let baby go.
I feel like you
okay.
too.
I would definitely say, this is a legendary moment, and I don't tell this to a lot of people, but I would have to say when Nipsey Hussle, about 2 months before he passed, you know, we were on Crenshaw and Sloss and everybody's getting ready to go out. Nipsey go about to perform. He like, LR, where you going? I'm like, I'm about to get up out of here. He like, where you going? I'm like, I'm about to go to church. He like, church? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Bible study. He stopped and he cocked his head to the side. He like, Bible study? I'm like, yeah, bro. He like, for real? I'm like, yeah. He like, that's what's up. Pray for me. And literally 2 months later, he was dead.
I was actually in LA when he passed away, just visiting from Vegas, and the whole atmosphere in the city changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I heard it on the radio, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know whether to leave or go or what to do. It just was weird. You know
was
what I
in
mean?
his visiting. He was in what prison was that? He was in Salinas Valley State Prison, and literally when I came out, I kid you not, when I was driving to up there, right, I kept seeing these black crows, literally. Every time I see black crows, it symbolizes death. I just don't know who is it, but no, when. This time it was different, and I told him when I was driving, I was seeing them. It was like a lot of them.
Really real.
I said, whoever dies is supposed to be monumental.
Big.
It's gonna be somebody big.
Yeah,
I kid you not. When I came out of there and I looked at my phone, like 'cause you can't take phones in there.
Yeah.
When I got to the car, I turned on my phone, and we seen that. I kid you not.
I got
My
back to
phone,
the cell. My
the phone
blew
kept
up.
going off
It was a
nonstop.
riot on the day.
Not my
It was a
phone
riot
blew
on the
up.
yard.
I just got back to
It was a
my
riot on
cell.
the yard. It was a riot.
You might have to scoot up and get on
It was a riot.
It's gonna be a hit.
It was a riot. It was a riot.
Silent guest.
It was a riot on the day.
I knew I was thinking about
killed.
necessary.
It was a riot on the yard the day my nigga got killed.
Yeah.
That day was just
It was
like,
supposed to be.
that day was just kind of crazy.
Right, that
So the
whole
yard was
day.
shut down. We went to visit and walk, and we had to go back shackled.
Yeah.
That's how big whatever happened, the
Went
shit
down.
that happened. And the phone, I'm like, when she drive back on the way, it was a Sunday.
Yeah.
Because you drive back on the way, I would be on the phone, I'm like, damn, they say Nip did. And I called both of the little private numbers I had. I'm like, nah, that shit can't be true. I'm like,
It was
I ain't answer
unbelievable.
nobody call. I ain't want to talk to nobody.
It was
on that phone.
unbelievable.
They were like,
It was weird for me, I ain't gonna lie, because they've been calling me Manip since about 1999.
Yeah.
Manip. And it's, going, and I remember, I was a rapper too, I was dropping albums and stuff, I was Nippy Swagger. And then I started hearing about Nipsey Hussle, you know what I mean? I started into Nip Swagger.
where your Nip derived from, though?
Manip?
Yeah, Manip.
Manip Keys, because I was manipulating,
That's your Manip. But it's so
That's
yours, it's a
different.
compound,
Manip.
Manip. It's like a double entendre.
Yeah, but then, some black people short
Nice.
stuff up, so Nip.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I was Nippy Swagger. This is all in before 2000. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I started hearing about him, I remember my folks, Willie Hen was like the first, like, this nigga down in LA call himself Nipsey Hussle. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. You
Right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right.
I never really thought nothing
We
about
used to go, Nip, we'll be in the hood.
Mm.
And this nigga, I don't want to game banging nothing, but my vernacular changing since I've been out from high
I
speed.
mean, throw it
So-
up, guys. It's like space
Look over
here.
here like,
So,
amen.
we'll be in the hood.
You know what I mean?
No, we'll be in the hood. We'll be in the hood. And the bro house, CDs, person, she was like, what you doing with those? This is before we knew in the hood, Armand, I was younger than these niggas I was around, always. So, we like, what you doing with that? He like, I'm about to put them up. He like, we about to go put them up in, we about to go put them up in the enemy's hoods.
Oh, yeah.
This nigga, we keeping ooze for him. We on Vermont. We ain't supposed to be over here. This is the height of gang wars in LA. What you wearing, it says everything about you.
Yeah.
So we over here, but I used to go to the Muslim temple down here, the mosque. So we down here, nigga know certain areas, we'll go put posters up, certain things. But my most memorable Nip moment was like one of the G homies had to go turn himself in.
Just a little bit of it.
One of the G homies, and I got plenty, but one of the G homies had to go turn himself in. And he was like 50 years old, but he was still out like thugging with us. And me and Nip, we like pieced up and like threw him a little soiree before he got turned in. And it's like just to see that degree of, it didn't just stop in the hood with the homies. And to get out, do 16 and a half years in the pen, and to get out and see his name still living on by the deeds the nigga did, his actions, is like, you live bigger when you step outside of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So, you know, but yeah.
Yeah. And when he say 16, he's saying he did 16. You know, not the older homie did 16.
Oh,
He was about 12.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, I
I
went in when I was
No, he went in when he
I
was 16.
I was
Yeah,
16.
16.
I went when I was 16. I was charged. I had 73 years and 3 life sentences.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I went and got my man's out.
See, yup.
You
See, yup.
did.
Came and
Yeah,
we
with the
thugged it out.
Yeah.
Yup.
So at the time, I worked for the city attorney's office,
Uh-huh.
and Gilbone, he used to go to the
Trumped
law
up charge.
library while he was in there.
Oh yeah, so
And,
I got hold up, but wait, before we did that, my first year down,
Man, look, we
I got like
look, we don't
my first year
Everybody
down.
tuned in now.
Look, my first year down, I got 10 years knocked off on my own.
He did.
I got 10 years knocked off.
Supposed to.
Then like
Supposed
6
to.
years later, like niggas was on the yard chilling with the homies, trying to be like the next whatever. Nigga kept that established as well, but I knew I had to focus and educate myself. High school diploma, I was like 3 different colleges. I took trades in there. So it is some of us in there that is focused, and I was in the law library, and I had a job. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't
Because-
stopping. And then he had me. His
Yeah,
ace
then
in
every
the
time I
hole.
called,
He had that
So
ace
it
in
was
the
like,
hole. So
it was
you
like,
know.
you have to get up out of that, but yeah.
Listen, and it was crazy
Legally
because
blue.
what was so crazy though, y'all? Before he
legally
went
blind.
to jail, we was together.
Yeah,
Literally,
yeah,
I left my
yeah.
son's father for him,
Okay.
and then he wound up getting incarcerated like a year later. And
It was like 2
literally,
years.
no, it was like a year later because Njai, when you went, he was like 2, and my son when he got out was 21 basically. So I say that to say that when you
Lord.
want something and God is in the midst of that and it's supposed to happen, it's gonna come full circle.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
because
But
literally
you right.
we
You
broke
gotta
up.
be right and like do good. You can't be like, you know, you gonna have your moments where you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right.
But you can't just like try to tread over everything and everyone over.
Yeah,
you know
because he
what I'm
came
saying?
about me because your girl was out here doing it up. You did. He had to come
Fuck
find
that
me.
shit.
He knew to come look
Yeah,
for
no,
me.
I did. Like I
Because
did,
literally,
I
we
did.
both had kind of like went our way. He got married, I got married, he got divorced. Well, he didn't get divorced. I had to help him get divorced because
Okay.
she wouldn't sign the paper.
I was getting
I got
divorced in the process
I got
already,
divorced.
and you came
Uh-huh.
and you helped me
Listen,
with that,
let's-
finish
let's-
it
let's-
up.
let's-
You need to hurry
Let's
up.
focus.
Yeah,
Your girl was out here working for the
Drag
city
was.
attorney's office,
She was.
and I literally was getting to
Everything.
the bag.
Yeah.
I was getting to the bag. When I say I would leave my house at 3 o'clock in the morning, I wouldn't get home till like 11 o'clock at night. And literally, I told my kids, I told my people that work for me and things like that. I had 10 staff. I told them, listen, I'm doing this for a purpose. You know, with y'all with me, we together, we going to the top, and that's what I did. And literally on top of that, I literally paid $15,000 for a lawyer, went and got him out. I filed the petition myself after he gave it to me, walked it in myself. They granted
No,
it.
actually, I missed the time.
He
Because when you
missed it,
file
but I
stuff,
walked
you
it
get,
in.
you miss timelines. They
I
kick
said,
it out, and
listen.
you don't get to get in.
I said, forget the timeline. I'm walking it in. And I literally walked in there with my badge on, and they like, oh, Miss Wilson. I'm like, yeah, I'm in here to file a petition, and they granted it. Literally, when they granted it, we had a public pretender. That public pretender didn't even know how to
Yeah,
fight
we
that
had to
case.
get him on. He
He
was
literally
scared.
told me, he was like, I'm just waiting for this to happen on the higher up courts. Once that happened, we got him out of there. And then we used our lawyer, Mr. Stein. Shout out to Mr. Stein, y'all.
Oh,
If
yeah,
y'all
man,
ever
for
know
sure.
somebody that
Bellflower.
need a criminal lawyer and y'all want to win, call Mr. Stein because he ain't going to take the case unless he can get you out. Period, point blank. Mr. Stein came to court with some Nike Dunks on, with a suit jacket, some purple Nike Dunks on.
Don't judge
he's
a
a
book
Jew,
by
its
so a
cover.
lot of them feel like
Literally.
they owe us in
Don't
certain
judge a
manners.
book.
Now, you get what I'm saying? So it's something like that. Like, they don't do nothing for free type. You know what I'm
Listen.
saying?
Oh, yeah, them
When I say that
everything.
Mr.
Yeah.
Stein, he gave me the lowest number, which was that $15,000, because that man is $100,000 case type
That
of
nigga
man.
said that-
He
got
took
in
that
there, he
case
like, man,
because
yeah.
literally I sat in his office and I had already did the work, and he said, you know what, you did my work for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the price? I thought he was gonna say like $5,000 because I did the work. He said no, 15. I'm like, oh, okay. And at the time,
And
I
just
was
to think
literally
though,
like,
bro,
woo.
it's a lot of black men in there. It just take a couple of dollars for somebody to seek their case in unjust situations and moments, and a lot of people neglect it because you know they don't have the dough or nothing. But
They don't not even the
Or
money
resources.
because he literally was doing
Resources.
it. He started before we could pay for the lawyer. It's the
Yeah.
support. And that's
Support
why you
it
say
as well. That
don't
go a
judge a
long
book by
way.
its cover, because literally when I say that at the time Nobody knew that he was in the law library. Nobody knew that he was gonna come back. Nobody knew that we was. Nobody knew that we was rocking the way we was rocking. Here I am. I'm working at the city attorney's office. I'm going to go see him every other week. Literally through the pandemic,
Sometimes it's
rain,
raining.
sleet, snow, fire.
Monterey County. I was in Salinas Valley, High Desert, Pelican Bay.
I have to wrap the show.
All of that.
we done got into our own
Look, y'all need
conversation and
to
y'all
back.
just watching. Look,
Man, it's just
we
different.
gonna
More
have
people comment.
we gonna have Gilbone and Boss Barbie back on the show for part 2, and they
Part
gonna
2.
switch seats so Gilbone don't be the silent, unsilent guest.
To live and never die.
Right.
You feel me?
Follow me to live and never die.
You know
On
what I mean?
IG, on
This is a
everything.
real
It's all right. Y'all see you
Cali
next time.
field episode.
Do
We got
not judge
real.
book by its cover,
You
y'all.
feel me?
Brave
Let's
and
serious
adventurous.
podcast. We out.
Bye.
No.
Do you not see all